Here is something that I want every founder or business owner to hear. And it's that your business never collapses overnight. It unravels slowly, and the signs are always there if you're looking for them. If you know how to spot them early, you can save yourself years of stress, burnout, and firefighting only for things to end in flames. Hi, my name is Armand. I am an accountant, a business owner, and mum to 4 kids, and I have seen inside hundreds of UK businesses over the last decade. And today I am going to walk you through the clearest, most common early warning signs that a business is slipping into chaos and the very first steps that you should take to pull things back under control. So let's get into it. Now, I want to start by saying something that might hit home with you. And that is that in those early years, so the first couple of years of starting a business, you are the business. And I'm not saying this in a motivational way. It's more in a practical way. You are the business is you. Your energy, your clarity, your systems, your stress levels, your sleep, your workload, how well you're looking after yourself. These things all indicate the state of your business. So this is in those early years. So one of the earliest signs that a business is slipping into chaos is actually really simple. If you as the business owner or founder feel chaotic, then it's likely that your business is pretty chaotic too. And this might look like waking up at 3 a.m. and worrying about clients, being snappy with your partner or your kids, feeling permanently on edge, constantly jumping between tasks, or working late every night for months and months on end. Now, if you are falling apart, there's a good chance that your business is falling apart too. Because at this early stage of building a business, you and your business are essentially indistinguishable because it's just, it's you are building it. It's so tied to you. And I want you to know that this isn't a criticism. It's just the nature of early stage entrepreneurship. Okay, so as you go through those early couple of years in your business, keep that in mind. Now, the rest of what I'm going to run through applies whether you're a startup, early years business, or if you're more established. The next few points are relevant to you regardless. Okay, so these apply to any business. So the second point I want to make is that working 60, 70-hour weeks for months on end with no end on sight is not sustainable. I know there's this grind hustle culture. And trust me, I've worked crazy hours. And there are seasons in your business where you'll need to work late. Yes, there are times that you're going to need to push hard. But the challenge I have for you here is that if you are consistently working 60 to 70-hour weeks for months on end with no predictable downtime, and you've normalized it, then that is not dedication. That's a sign that you're stuck in firefighting mode and that you're possibly over-delivering because there's maybe systems missing, that you're very possibly undercharging, or that you are simply trying to do the work of 2 or 3 people. So it might be a time for you to hire. If you can't afford to hire, that's a good sign that you're undercharging. So there's a few common issues there that all kind of loop together. Okay, and this is usually a big red flag that I've noticed in businesses. So if you find yourself in the position where you've normalized 60 to 70-hour work weeks, then that's not going to be sustainable in the long run. Okay, and it's a sign that your business, if you try and maintain that for years and years, your business will unravel over time because it's just not sustainable. Okay, the next is cash flow tightening. And this is the silent killer that a lot of people just dismiss and assume is the norm in business, but it really shouldn't be the norm for long periods of time. Okay, so if you cannot confidently pay payroll each month, then your business is actually already in trouble. Yes, I know not all businesses have predictable sales where clients are committing to a monthly package like an accounting business does. But I know businesses are cyclical and they have ups and downs, but you should still, once you're an established business, have enough of a buffer to ride out tougher or quieter periods. So if And maybe having 1 or 2 months where it's a bit tricky to meet your payroll, that's okay. But if you again are making it, if you're normalizing it, or if it's become just the common way you run your business, just how it is, that you have to scrounge money together to pay payroll, or you're having to pay it a few days late, then that's just a sign that your business will unravel over time. It's just not sustainable. So even if, and I see this so often, people will have an amazing revenue. Sales are booming. They're so busy. They're busy, but they struggle to meet payroll. That's a sign that your business is unraveling, okay? People kind of excuse, or they like assume that busy means that they'll be successful. But busy is not always a sign that you're going to be successful. Because if you're busy and you're busy for months and years of a time, like months and years pass, but you're also consistently struggling to meet payroll, then something is wrong and you're not fixing something fundamentally wrong, okay? And the other reason why it tends to unravel your business over time is because cash flow issues drain your attention as a business owner. They drain your attention and they drain your energy faster than anything else in a business will. And I've seen it happen so often. So here are the early warning signs. If you find yourself transferring money between accounts to cover wages, so maybe you've put some money aside for VAT or corp tax and you're having to move it across to cover wages, or if you find yourself paying your supplier bills a bit late, or you're asking clients, will you just pay this one early? I know it's not, your payment terms yet, but can you just pay it early? Or even worse, if you're dipping into personal savings to keep things afloat, then that's a sign that things are starting to wobble. This is like on those more established businesses. And it's actually, I would say it's quite advanced stage wobbling, not super early stage wobbling if you're having to dip into personal savings all the time. Okay. And another one for me, which you may not consider an early warning sign, but trust me, it's a big one, is that if you do not have at least 3 months of business overheads in a separate savings account, then it's a sign that you are in putting your business at risk, that it could unravel. And that's because businesses go through peaks and troughs in their activity, and you need a bit of a buffer. It's so important to build up an account that you don't touch of money where you have at least 3 months of your overhead. So work out how much would you need to cover a typical month of costs in your business, and times that by 3, and that should be your target of a savings account. And that will allow you to ride out periods where maybe a customer takes an extra 2 months to pay you, okay? So it's so important to build it up. And I've seen businesses with £1 million plus turnover collapse simply because they didn't have cash reserves. And the saddest part is that it was preventable. Now, the next common sign of a business possibly like heading towards failure is one, and it's so common, one where the invoices are a mess, where they're a bigger business and the credit control and customer invoices are a mess. So how can you know if this is possibly plaguing your business? Well, if you log into Xero and see that you go to your customer invoices and there's a whole lot of overdue old invoices, that you have no consistent follow-up process. So that when you look at it, there's a whole lot of customer invoices and you're like, oh, they're normally a good payer. I'm not sure why they didn't pay me, but no one's actually chased it up or reminded them. Then this is a sign that your business is drifting into chaos, because good credit control is calm. Bad credit control is chaos. There's a direct correlation. So if you are not, some businesses don't need credit control because their customers pay them in advance of work or on the day of work. But if you are one of those businesses that give your customers time to pay, and you don't have a process to stay on top of that, to remind customers, because we're all human, to chase up old debts, to maybe charge late payment interest, to send statements, if you don't have that in place, then there's a good chance that there's chaos and you're being reactive, and it is completely a preventable way to end, like to have your business go down in flames in the long run, okay? You need to stay on top of this, especially if you're planning on growing your business. It needs to be grown in a sustainable way. Another sign that your business is possibly unraveling a bit is if you have unhappy staff or high turnover in staff. So if you have a team, even a small one, Their behavior is actually one of the earliest indicators that things are going off track. So watch for people who are resigning unexpectedly for like obscure reasons, staff who are complaining about workloads, any passive aggressive dynamics, mistakes that are happening frequently. So if you're getting staff who are making lots of mistakes, either, and especially if they haven't been making mistakes before, but suddenly there are mistakes being made. If you bring someone on board who makes mistakes, you should try to train that and support them out of that. Otherwise, they may not be a good fit, but you shouldn't allow it to become something chronic that's in your business. Okay. And also where there's a team where no one's taking responsibility and no one's sure who's responsible for what. Okay. Because often what happens, you start your business up, you're involved in everything, and then as you grow a team, you step away. And so what tends to happen is that employees feel the rumblings of things going wrong long before the owner does. If your team is unhappy, overstretched, confused, or on the extreme leaving, your business model is cracking under the pressure, and you need to do something to stop that. Okay, so what should you do if you recognize any of these signs? Well, firstly, stop, breathe, step back. You cannot fix chaos from inside chaos. You need to step out of it and review it from the outside. And what I would like to challenge you to do as a business owner is actually begin with your situation. I want you to sit down and look at what is your ideal week so that you aren't being so you can avoid being reactive. You want to bring a sense of calm. Are you making sure in your perfect week, is your business well looked after? Are you setting time aside for credit control? Are you setting time aside for staff development? Are you setting time aside for proactive cash flow forecasting? Okay. And drawing up your ideal week is not saying that's fluffy, it's practical. When you map out how many hours you want to work and what you want to work on, what your role is and what your life needs to look like, then you gain clarity on what needs to change. And then what you can do is you can conduct a sort of traffic light audit. So traffic light, red, amber, and green. And you want to split your business into key distinct areas. So typically a business is broken into 5 areas, or I like to say, I'm just trying to think, I'll do it more 4 areas, okay? So you've got your sales and marketing is one area. You've got your finance is another area. Operations, like how you deliver your system or your service to your customers or your products. And then you've got your HR or your team. How are you developing them? So break a business into those 4 areas and rate it green, orange, or red. How happy are you that is functioning? So green is working. Amber or orange is inconsistent. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. And red, it's breaking. And then it allows you to fix the reds first. Okay. And I also, if you've watched one of my previous videos where I talk about my stop doing list, which I will make sure to link in the comments below, I want you to create space for yourself to fix the parts that are red, the parts that are breaking, by delegating low value tasks. So you need to make sure as a business owner that you're not doing tasks that you could get someone else to do for 15 or 20 pounds an hour. If you've worked out that your value as the CEO or business owner is 80 pounds an hour, you need to make sure that you are not doing any tasks that are worth less than that per hour. Because if you do, you will always end up creating unnecessary chaos because you are not elevating the business. Okay. So I want to just remind you that chaos does not start with one big explosion. It starts with little cracks that you ignore. And if you can spot them early and take action, you will save yourself years of overwhelm. And you'll build a business that feels calm and profitable and enjoyable to run. Now, if this resonated with you, hit that like and subscribe and let me know in the comments what's one early warning sign that I've spoken about that you did not realize was an early warning sign that you will now look out for in your business. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in my next video.